Have you ever thought of your thoughts? You don't understand? Let me make it slow. Have you ever thought of your thoughts? It's complicated, right? Let me make it simple. I'm giving you 5 seconds. Now think about how your brain looks like. Okay, truly, have you ever seen your brain? I think it's no. Even no one in the world have seen their brain. Then how you are able to picturize the image of brain in your mind? You're probably able to picturize the image of brain in your mind because at some point in your life you must have seen some cartoon images like this, or maybe some real images like this, or maybe some handmade craft like this in your science lab. But here comes another question. What is the difference between watching something which is right in front of you or picturizing something which probably you have never seen? Okay, so here comes the two confusing word, perception and thought. So perception is the ability to see, hear or feel or become aware of something through the senses. So the duty of our brain is to recognize the stimuli that are taken in by your various senses and interpret it into images, sound and emotions. So ultimately perception are tied with certain stimuli, but thoughts are not tied with any kind of stimuli. Okay, so let me make it more simple by some practical. This is the image of sun. Look at it clearly. How bright it is. Now think about sun, how bright it is. So in the first picture, I gave you an image of sun, so your eyes received the stimuli and sent it to the brain, so you were able to see the picture. And in the second picture, I gave you a blank page and told, think about sun. Now at this time, your eyes are not receiving the stimuli, but still you are able to picturize the image of sun in your mind. Maybe exactly the same. But how? So this is what exactly the thought. We process almost 80,000 thoughts every day. Have you ever wondered what they are made of? Well, we can define thought in two possible ways. Either it's a part of the materialistic world, which is mainly the electricity generated by the neurons in our brain, or it's a part of something invisible, which is neither we can detect nor the modern machines, a kind of supernatural thing roaming in the universe. But currently in this video, we are going to know about the electricity part. Our brain is composed of 100 billion cells, and these cells are called as neurons. And as you can see, our brain cells are very different from the cells of the other part of the body. And yes, this makes our brain so special. So these neurons present in our body in an interconnected manner, like creating a lot of crisscross road carrying ions, chemicals and so on. So basically one neuron connected to another neuron, then this neuron connected to another neuron, then this connected to another one, then this connected to another one, this connected to another one, like this. On an average, each connection transmits about 1 signal per second, and some specialized connection send up to 1000 signals per second. Did you notice I said that each neuron transmits 1 signal per second? But what exactly I meant by the word signal here? Is it a kind of green and red signal in the traffic? No, it's not. Then what is it? Let's know. When you are touching yourself, when you are seeing the words on the computer screen, when you are hearing a phone ring, when you are smelling a delicious chicken curry, even at this point when you are watching me. So basically, brain recognizes the stimuli or simply the messages that are taken by your various senses like eyes, ears, nose, skin, which help you to understand your environment. So all these things are happens through perception. That means the perception is tied with certain stimuli. So here comes another question, that how exactly our brain process all these things? I mean, what is the real physical process that happening within our brain? When you are reading these words, for example, the photons associated with the patterns of the letters hit your retina and their energy triggers an electrical signal in the light detecting cells there. That electrical signal propagates like a wave along the neurons. When the signal reaches the end of one neuron, it causes the release of chemicals, neurotransmitters, into the synapse. So synapse is basically the junction between the two neurons. Within a few hundred milliseconds, the signal has spread to billions of neurons in several dozen interconnected areas of your brain, and you have perceived these words. Maybe it took around 1 minute to describe the process, but our brain roughly need only 1 second or maybe less than that to do all these things. I said that the electrical signal propagates like a wave. But what exactly these electrical signals? So as I showed you in some videos that a spark of light is traveling, but that's not exactly happen within our brain. So for our brain, the electrical signal is all about entry and exit of certain ions and neurochemicals into the neuron and out of the neuron. So these ions are like chlorine, sodium and potassium. So this entry and exit of the neuron happen within your brain throughout the day whenever you are getting certain stimuli. And this is what I meant by the word signal. So all these things are under perception. But what about thoughts? To think about sun, you don't need to go near the sun. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you can think about it, or your brain can think about it at any time. So when I am saying sun, the sun related stimulations that are rooted in your mental concept of what a sun is will started coming up in your mind. Then the concept will started piling up all the information that you have regarding the sun, and then the brain will start collecting and shaping the information regarding the sun that you know previously. So for example, I am taking the concept sun here. So consider it as a collection of neural patterns representing your past experiences. What your brain does here? So your brain combines these neural patterns in different ways and help you to picturize this thing in your mind. Okay. For example, from the very childhood, we have seen that the color of the sun is yellow or orangey yellow. So this is one neural pattern that is stored in our mind. Then coming up to shape, we somehow know it from the drawings that it is circular in shape and some rays of light radiates from its body. So this is the second neural pattern. And coming up to location, you must have imagined it in a blank white page, or maybe in the sky, or maybe in the universe surrounding the planets. So this is completely depend upon your recent memory regarding the sun. So this is another neural pattern. Now when I'm uttering the word sun, all these neural patterns get activated and unconsciously started shaping the image of sun in your mind. So without your mind eyes, you are literally a blind person, even more blind than the real blind person. So I'm repeatedly saying the word neural pattern, but what the neural pattern is? So the neural pattern means a population of neurons interconnected by synapses to carry out a specific function when activated. That means, for example, at any point in your life when you have seen or heard about sun, there are certain neurons in your brain, they got activated and started carrying out the signal. And this carrying out signal happened through the incoming and outgoing of the positively and the negatively charged ions, as I mentioned earlier. This one neuron then transfers its signal to the neighbor neuron through the gateway, which is the synapse. They actually transferred their signal by certain neurochemicals. So this is how some signal got sprayed in the interconnected neurons and create a neural pattern. From these signals, some signal stays as a memory and some got erased away. So these neural patterns got active again when I uttered the word sun and started imagining all the things. So that's how your thought work. So throughout the video, I just gave one example. Imagine how complex your thoughts are and how complex your neural patterns are and how complex your brain is. So that's it for today. I know this is a complex topic to understand, so I worked a lot to write down the perfect script so that I can make you understand the concept simply and easily. But if you haven't understood it by watching it once, then I will suggest you to leave the video, take some rest and watch it again, because the point of giving it so much effort that you understand it well. But if you are still not understanding it, then I have to do much more hard work. But if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that every time I will put a video, you will instantly get notified from the YouTube. Thanks for watching.